Alrighty, everyone, it looks like the run is ready to start. My name is The Grand Run, and I'll be your host for this SaGa Scarlet Grace Ambition Urpina new game run by kashiwame. And it looks like they're all ready, so take it away, folks. Go ahead, have fun.
All right. Hello, everyone. So in the upper left corner of your screen there is our next runner coming to us all the way from Japan. It is the wonderful Kashiwame. Hello, Kashi-san. Konbanwa.
Hello, I'm kashiwame, Japanese speedrunner of SaGa Scarlet Grace Ambitions.
Yep, and that is exactly the game we're going to be running today. She is going to be running Urpina's scenario and completing it as quickly as possible. Urpina is one of this game's 4 main characters, and she is also going to be playing on the English version for us today so that our viewers can follow along a little bit easier. Time is going to begin once she selects new game here at the title screen, and it will be called once she saves her completed game data at the end. And also, my name is AurionSkyDragon. I will be providing the bulk of the commentary for this run. Kashi-san will chime in here and there, but she's mostly going to be focused on giving you the best possible run that she can. So I think with introductions out of the way, we are good to begin anytime. So Kashiwame, countdown kara hajimemashou.
Hi, thanks. 3 count?
はい。
OK. ありがとうございます。So, count now. 3, 2, 1.
All right. Good luck and ganbatte ne.
Thanks for 頑張れ.
All right, so yeah, this is what a new game of Scarlet Grace looks like. We open up with a personality quiz. If that sounds familiar at all to you, then maybe you've played Pokemon Mystery Dungeon at some point in your life. And much like PMD, this quiz is going to give us a series of randomized questions. Based on how we answer, it's going to assign one of the game's 4 protagonists to us. And obviously, since we're doing Urpina's scenario, that is who we would like to get. But it's not a big deal if we don't. We can still select from the other 3 characters that are not chosen. But if we do get Urpina, it's going to modify her core stats a little bit to kind of min-max her, give her some more stats that align with her role as a frontline physical attacker. And there we go. Looks like we got her. So yeah, we're about ready to step into the world of Scarlet Grace. So yeah, each of the 4 protagonists in this game has their own unique scenario that takes place in the same world. Urpina starts off, she is the noble daughter of House Gelanius. Her story opens up with her brother Antonius and her father Maximius, who we see here. The 2 children are seeing off their father, who is about to go join the Empire. He has been called to aid them in battle, so he is going to lead their military forces. And while Daddy's away, the 2 children are responsible for holding down the fort. We'll see how that goes very quickly. Urpina's story starts off pretty simple, pretty tame, but it's going to escalate very quickly. So yeah, we're Antonius being the elder one. He is the one in charge. He's going to send Urpina on kind of a little patrol. This is meant to be a little tutorial of sorts, get your feet wet into the world, move around, get a feel for how the game works. But since we know what we need to do, we're just going to head right into the next story trigger. We're going to start we're going to make our way straight into our first battle here. This is where most of the run is going to be spent, and a lot of where the time optimization comes in. Figuring out how to quickly dispatch enemies while also preparing our party for some of the more later difficult encounters to come. This run is going to be glitchless. We don't really have any bugs or glitches to make use of throughout the run. And in fact, I don't believe there are any known known bugs relevant to speedrunning for this game at this time. But that can always change in the future. So we're kind of left with just leveraging basic game mechanics in our favor, but we still have a couple tricks up our sleeve. I think our first one is going to be coming up maybe around 20-25 minutes. And so right away, yeah, that patrol that we went on is about to take a turn for the worse, as a giant monster has appeared from the ground. And before we go confront it, we're going to pay a visit to the boathouse to set up an event right after this. So this is the Earth Serpent. We're going to get very familiar with this creature throughout the first half of the run. This creature has emerged from the earth. Along with it, a bunch of black armored soldiers spawn out with it, and they're going to be terrorizing the nearby towns. And yeah, so Urpina decides to go investigate it, and yeah, we're going to do battle right away. Despite being a boss, this actually isn't too difficult right off the gate, or right out of the gate. For this battle, we're going to have Mondo, the elderly gentleman, in the pink clothes and the more or less silver. I guess it's not really a bowl cut, but yeah, we start by having him poison the Earth Serpent. The Earth Serpent is very susceptible to poison damage, so that's going to be doing most of the work here. And because most of the run is going to be spent in battles, I'll be taking some time throughout the run to kind of go over some of the more finer details of the battle system. It's a fairly intuitive battle system, especially for a SaGa game. Like, it should be pretty easy to kind of pick up on how things work as we go, but you know, like any good RPG system, it has some finer nuances under the hood. And so, yeah, we'll kind of be building upon that throughout the run. The basic gist of battle is, obviously it's turn-based. We lead a party of up to 5 characters against an enemy party of up to 5, and before each round of combat, we issue commands to our party members using a resource called BP, which is denoted by the little star gauge at the bottom. And every action in this game consumes BP, and yeah, every action consumes BP, and the actions that a character can take are determined by their weapon type and what techniques they have learned with that weapon. And so, yeah, so for this battle, all we have to do is defeat the Earth Serpent until constantly summon. Yes, and that was, I believe, our first instance of the Urpina finisher. Nothing particularly special about it per se, but it's just a fun little piece of dialogue that Urpina has whenever she lands a finishing blow. Yeah, something that we still like to celebrate nonetheless. And so after defeating the Earth Serpent, those black armored soldiers that came with the Earth Serpent have kind of overrun the nearby area. So Urpina, much to her regret, she is advised to flee her home because, yeah, while they were busy fighting the Earth Serpent, the soldiers kind of overran her home. And after the Earth Serpent was defeated, it came back, which they quickly surmised that this thing cannot be defeated through conventional means. So Mondo suggests we should flee and try and go find Daddy, see if we can't bring him home. So now we fled to the southern region here, and yeah, we came here by boat. It was important that we hit that event trigger earlier, visiting the boathouse, because otherwise we wouldn't have been able to take the boat here. And we want to come here because we're about to do a kind of little side event. What she's going to do is she's going to visit the town, learn about a rumor, and she's going to investigate the rumor. And a series of fixed events are going to play out when we investigate the rumor. She's going to do this a total of 7 times. We're going to get 2 battles during this course, and we're also going to get 3 very nice items to kind of help out our early game a little bit. So yeah, so one thing she's done here is she's going to be equipping a lot of characters with axes throughout the early game, and this is to she wants to have a few characters learn a move called Maim, and characters learn new moves in this game through a process called sparking. That is kind of a SaGa series staple mechanic, and it's a very integral part of this run. Normally, sparking is a fairly random process, but a lot of measures have been taken in this game to eliminate some of that randomness. And one such mechanic is in order for a character to become eligible to spark a new move, they first have to use techniques enough. Whenever you use a technique, it will increment an invisible counter, and the amount that counter increases is based off of the BP spent for the move. And something I forgot to mention too is generally stronger moves require more BP. So if we want to have our characters learn moves faster, we should use more expensive moves. And so this is relevant because once we use moves enough, we'll become eligible to spark. And right now we want our axe users to learn a move called Maim. This is so that we can spark a move later called Dimensional Break that's going to play a very integral role in some very difficult battles coming our way. And very excited to show off that strategy when we come to it. The issue arises here, though. In addition to sparking Maim, there's also a small chance we could see a move called Vertical Smash. We do not want to see that because that means it's going to delay our Maim, which is going to further delay our Dimensional Break. And whenever you spark a new move, that invisible counter resets to 0, and the minimum threshold for learning a new move is going to increase. So by kind of manipulating the moves that characters spark, we can try and get all the techniques that we want as early as possible. Because if we end up getting Vertical Smash, then that threshold will increase for the Maim, which will then increase later for Dimensional Break, and that just kind of sets us back pretty far. So ideally we are going to just try and fish for that Maim. If kashiwame does spark Vertical Smash, she may elect to actually reload a save file, and this game does have an autosave feature, so we don't have to worry too much about manually saving as we go. She may elect to play it out, though. I'll kind of wait and see what happens, kind of play it by ear. And yeah, so there's the Vertical Smash. Not like this.
Not good.
So we'll see. Okay, it looks like she's gonna play it out. So luckily we have a few other characters that we can try and learn that with. But if we see another one, though, we may elect to try the fight one more time.
I must train my body.
And so after battle, we can see our stats kind of increase. This game does not have a traditional leveling system. After battle, characters' max HP has a chance to grow, and their weapon skill levels have a chance to grow, and that's kind of it. As their skill levels grow, so too does their damage with the corresponding weapon type. Characters' core stats are actually fixed, like strength and endurance. Those do not change over the course of the game, but they can be modified through equipment and roles. We'll talk a little more about roles a bit later. And so I believe this is the last of the rumors. So during that process, we picked up a broad axe and a falchion. We're going to be giving the falchion to Urpina. She is going to be sticking with long swords for most of the run, and occasionally fit her out with the axe to build up that maim. And we're going to be using the broad axe, or we're going to be giving that broad axe to a character we're about to recruit coming up. And I guess I could talk a little bit about the characters that we see here too, because we know about Urpina, but who are all the rest of these fine folks? I think I talked about Mondo a little bit. He is kind of like a senior retainer of House Gelanius, and he has kind of been assigned as Urpina's bodyguard. He serves as Urpina's partner character. each of the 4 main characters has an accompanying partner character, and Mondo is Urpina's. And they mostly serve to just kind of interact with the main character on their journey, give them someone to talk to during cutscenes, because this game has a lot of potential party members. I think somewhere in the range of like 40 to 50. And unfortunately, not all of them are important enough to be featured in cutscenes. So that's mostly what the partner character is there for. And then the other folks we have here are just other members of House Jelanius to kind of round out the party. They don't want to give you a non-full party in this game. Trying to fight battles with a non-full party is not a winning strategy. The characters to take note of here, though, are the Armored Knights, Beatrice and Jomto. We're going to be using them a fair bit throughout the run. They're mostly going to be tanks, as their full armor would imply. Yeah, and I think we're going to be phasing out Beatrice later, though. One of the reasons for that is because of her LP. And LP is also an important mechanic in this game. LP is also something that's present in other SaGa games. Whenever a character is KO'd, they will lose one of their life points, or LP. And when a character runs out of LP, they will be unable to fight anymore. So, yeah, we want to make sure no one gets LP killed. Thankfully, in this game, they'll just get moved to the reserves. They won't actually get removed from your party, or in the case of like Romancing Saga, they would be considered dead. And yeah, so right now we are kind of making our way toward a place called Oswakan, which is kind of like the center of the world. That's where the Empire is located. That's where Maximius went. And along the way, we just came across a young girl named Ogniana. We are going to add her to our party right away. She is a wonderful character. She starts off with the axe, and we're going to keep her with that. She is a strong, fast powerhouse, but she's kind of a glass cannon. What makes her really stand out is her unique role. Every character in this game comes with a unique role that offers some kind of benefit, and for Ogniana, she receives a nice damage increase. Yeah, we can see just how much damage she is doing compared to Mondo there. Yeah, I believe to offset that, though, she does take a bit of a hit with her accuracy, if I recall, or maybe she takes a little bit of extra damage. But it's absolutely worth it. The damage multiplier is like a percentage base, so yeah, we'll be seeing a lot of Agni throughout this run. She is going to be a staple. And another nice thing too is she already starts with name pre-learned, so she is ready for that dimensional break. And speaking of, we actually have our first dimensional break spark coming up. I believe about 2 battles from now. Although I think we're still waiting for a name. And then we also gave the falchion to Urpina. That's going to greatly
Finisher.
Yes, Urpina finisher. We'd love to see it. But yeah, that falchion gives her a nice damage boost to start. Most of the starting weapons have a base power of 10, but the weapons that we picked up have a base power of 16, which are way better than anything we have access to right now. And another nice thing about Ogniana is when she joins, you receive a new formation. And formations are another way you can customize your party. The amount of... There's the main.
Nice
Excellent.
main. Nice main.
Nice main. So yeah. Let's see. Yeah, formations. Formations determine the amount of BP that you start with and the maximum amount of BP. They also determine how you gain more BP. The formation we were using, you generated 1 additional BP in between turns, but with momentum, we actually start with 5 BP instead of 4, but we no longer have the ability to gain BP in between turns. But I'll put a pin in that because we're about to go for our first instance of dimensional break sparking. So hopefully we get this right off the bat. It might take a little bit because Mondo sparked Mame a little late and he has to build up some tech usage. But yeah, once we see this, I'm just gonna kind of let it happen and explain how it works afterward. We may have to reattempt this engagement though, depending on our spark chances here.
I shall handle this.
So we'll kind of just wait and see. Oh, that's not good. Well, this should wake him up at least. Never mind. Okay, so we were defeated, but not to fear. Thankfully, this game has a pretty generous reattempt system. Whenever you lose a battle, you'll be able to reattempt right on the spot. The issue is any characters that were defeated will lose LP. And so, yeah, like I said earlier, if a character runs out of LP, they are out of commission and will be unable to fight for a little while. So it's not something that we can abuse, but something we will be making use of should the need arise. And I have a good feeling we're going to see the dimensional break on this turn. Mondo's used enough main. Alright, there it is.
Okay.
And off you pop. So, the way that works is so Dimensional Break is it's an axe move that hits all enemies, and it also has a very small chance of inflicting instant death. But whenever you spark a move for the first time, the accuracy of that move for that one use only becomes 100%. This also applies to anything like rider effects, like status ailments or stat debuffs. And so Dimensional Break normally has about a 5-10% chance of inflicting instant death. But for that one time when we spark it, it becomes 100%. And so we're deliberately going to save that for the more difficult battles, because trying to do that battle normally is kind of a tall order. So yeah, that's a strategy we're going to use a couple times throughout the run. I believe we do a total of 4 on this route. And so yeah, that was the first one. I believe we have another one coming up pretty soon, and then the other 2 will be a fair bit later into the game. And this battle I believe this is the first time we are seeing magic coming out. And magic works a bit differently in this game. Whenever you cast a spell, each spell actually has a cast time.
Okay.
And whenever a character starts casting, you'll see a little counter above their icon on the timeline down there. And whenever it becomes their turn, it'll decrease by 1. And when it hits 0, they'll finally cast a spell. So it's a very committal option. And it's something that we'll be making use of later when we recruit a very nice mage into our party. But yeah, so I guess story-wise, we're still on our way to Oswakan. We let's see, yeah, we just we're trying to make our way to the north. One of this guy right here is the lord of the castle that we just ran through. He doesn't like that we just ran through his territory. He wants to capture Urpina, especially after finding out that she is, you know, the lone noble daughter of House Jelani, is kind of running out on her own, and wants to bring her into custody to I think he's trying to make like a political power play or something. But yeah, so we got a couple more battles coming up here. So I've been talking for a little bit. So how about we throw things over to our birthday boy on the host desk, Le Grand Grand.
Sure will. So we've got a few donations that came in since the start of the run. We have $11 from Siswaves, who says, "Have a great birthday, LGG." Thank you very much. And another donation from Captain O'Malley of $40. As promised, here is the $40 for all the mistakes over the course of the Zone of the Enders run. Thank you so much, tech and support staff, and all the donations. This was my first time doing something like this, and I am so happy that I got to share the moment with all you all. Less than 3.
All right. Thank you very much, and also would like to wish you a happy birthday myself.
Oh,
Hope
thank
it's a
you
good
very
one.
much.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine spending it any other way at a RPG Limit Break.
あしまっ
So
た。
let's see.
OK, OK.
Uh,
No.
yeah. So, oh yeah. Also, speaking of donations, there's some. I feel like there's something I should mention about Kashiwame, and that is, she really likes cats. And if you like cats as much as she does, and would like to make that known, I bet it would absolutely make her day if we could get some donation comments in that contain the word "yan,"
にゃん
and she might just show her appreciation just like that. So, yeah. Also, I saw some questions in the chat talking about united attacks, and yeah, that's something I could touch on here. So, yeah, and this is a great example of what just happened. So, whenever a character is defeated, they are removed from the timeline at the bottom, and when two or more characters on the same side join together after the timeline converges, those linked characters will perform what's called a united attack. All of them will join in for a little bit of extra damage, and each character that participates gets to enjoy a BP discount on their next turn. And BP is all
No.
yen. And yeah, and BP is very much a use it or lose it kind of resource. It does not carry over in between turns, so we want to make the most of that whenever we can. So let's see. Okay, so yeah, normally this is a fight that we would use Dimensional Break for, but because we didn't spark it, we didn't get the MAME earlier, we're just going to have to do this battle normally. And so this is actually so this is a pretty difficult battle to do with standard procedure, so we're going to resort to sandbag strats. And to elaborate on that, we're going to bring in a character that we haven't seen before, Nessa, and we're not going to use her anymore, any more than this, most likely. We're basically forcing a bunch of reattempts, because every time you reattempt, you will receive a damage bonus to your united attacks. I believe it's about 50%, and it stacks, I believe, up to 5 times. So we're going to use this to kind of give ourselves a bit of an advantage going forward here. You know, I've never actually done this fight normally, so I'm very interested to see how this plays out. So yeah, we're going to start off by poisoning the Drake here. This is the real problem. It has an absurd amount of HP. Well, maybe not absurd, but it's a pretty tanky beast. And then we're going to try and set up some united attacks off of these little goblins here. So yeah, Poison Mist is a little scary because it hits all your allies. And we didn't have enough BP there to block for some of our characters. And blocking is a very valuable mechanic in this game because cover. Block is the name of the technique. Cover is the mechanic. Whenever you cover for an ally, the covering character will come in and intercept all direct damage that character would take. And so it's a great way to protect your vulnerable party members with more tanky ones. And it's also very useful for AoE attacks as well, because whenever an AoE attack hits, they'll only get hit once, the covering character. They won't take both the hit directed at them and the one they're covering for. So you can turn an AoE attack that would hit your whole party into one that only hits 3 of your party members if you have 2 people blocking. And that's a great way to improving your survivability. And that goes a long way because, as you can see, milady, we don't really have... Yeah, that was unfortunate. Jomto, I think Jomto had the Grand Slam queued up, but wasn't able to pull it off in time. And yeah, you can see characters act on the timeline in order from left to right, and basically before each battle, characters will like roll for initiative essentially. It's mostly based off their mobility stat, but there's a bit of randomness to it. And unfortunately, the goblins are pretty fast, and we got outsped, so we're gonna have to, unfortunately, take this one back to the
ランス
beginning.
トームが入らなかったのが大きいな。
仕方がない。
仕方ない、no way.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll give this another go. Yeah, looks like we should be able to take out this goblin here pretty quickly, and that should give us a nice united attack to work with right off the bat. And yeah, we can get a nice 4-person unite here. That will help tremendously to get things going here. But yeah, what was I talking about earlier? Things are moving so fast. But oh yeah, I was talking about covering. Yeah. So in this game, survivability is, or rather, damage mitigation is key to survival, because you might have noticed we haven't really been healing a whole lot, and that's because there aren't too many options for healing in this game. Most of the damage we take in battle tends to stick, so most of our survival comes from good use of blocking and trying to defeat enemies before they get to act. Yeah, damage prevention is key.
Okay. United.
Yep, and that works out quite nicely. Even though Urpina went down, since she was in between two allies, they converged, creating a united attack, and then that created a nice little chain of events. It's always satisfying when you get like multiple united attacks in a row. So yeah, this battle is going much, much better. So we will be out of here very shortly. And I believe after this, we are just going to have a couple more cutscenes. So LGG, I don't know if you have anything else you want to throw our way, but I'll give you the floor if you'd like.
All right,
Urpina
well,
finisher.
I gotta say thank you very much for mentioning that Kashiwame-san likes cat, because now I'm basically going to turn into a cat boy with those donations coming in. So we've got $25 from Cat saying, "This is such a great time. The 3 nyans to Kashiwame. Nyan, nyan, nyan."
Nyang, nyang, nyang.
And then we also have $5 from Prof Ness, who says, "What do we want? Kitty donations. When do we want them? Meow."
Nyang. Well,
Oh God.
Yeah, well, it's a great moment to spend your birthday in.
Well, thank you very much for that. Hopefully I don't regret opening up Pandora's litter box. All right, so we finally, the person that was chasing us finally gave up. He said he's had enough. He's going to head back to his castle, and we finally getting to make our way to Oswakan, which is where we're going to meet up with Urpina's father. But let's see. Yeah, unfortunately, we're about to run into a very familiar face once we step foot here. And surprise! It's our boy, the Earth Serpent. So after he shows up, we're going to see a bunch of soldiers appear as well, and we're going to go help them in battle. And among them, we actually see it's Daddy. But unfortunately, the reunion is going to be cut short here, and yeah, we're about to get into a series of 4 battles, 2 sets of 2. This first one isn't too bad. We just have these are the Earth Golems that I mentioned. They are basically soldiers. I believe they're being I don't know if they're like dead necessarily, but I believe they're being like animated by these people called cultists of Savnok, who we'll be running into later. They're kind of being controlled against their will, and yeah, they're for some reason fighting alongside the Earth Serpent. Also, I did see someone mentioned a very good point in the chat about being able to manipulate the timeline as well with certain text, and that is very true. Some moves will have your characters move forward on the timeline. Some will move them backward, and you can use that to help facilitate united attacks a little better by moving everyone around to how you see fit. And some weapons are better at it than others. Like I think the spear or peanut finisher. Some weapons are better at it than others, like the spear. Oh yes, this battle, this guy. So this is Greater Devil. We're only going to see 2 of these in the run, but they're a bit noteworthy because they have a very scary move that can really put a wrench in our run. They have a move called Harvest Vitality, and that move is very scary because it can inflict instant death. It can also drain a character's LP up to 3. And we actually have 3 characters in our party right now with rather low LP, Mondo, Beatrice, and Ogniana. They only have a max LP of 4, so if they get hit by that Harvest Vitality and it rolls for a 3, that could be very bad news. Yeah, but luckily he doesn't always use it. We also see the Greater Devil, actually, you can see some question marks under its icon on the timeline. That indicates that it has a conditional readied for that turn. And conditionals are... Oh, good, we got Demiloon.
Not combat.
So, let's see, is this the counter? Okay, good.
Interrupt.
Yes. So, yeah, so it had a conditional prepared that turn, and conditionals come in a couple different flavors. We've already talked about cover. That's actually classified as a conditional. And yeah, like conditionals are basically like once a condition is met, that move will then activate. There's also counters and interrupts. Counters, if you perform a melee attack against an enemy with a counter prepared, they will deflect it. Or at least they have a very high chance of deflecting it, and then they'll perform a follow-up counterattack. And then interrupts. Interrupts come in 3 types: slashing, piercing, and blunt. If an enemy uses a move with an attack attribute that matches the interrupt, then that character will then they'll basically insert themselves right before that character attacks and perform an attack of their own. And this Greater Devil here actually has 2 different conditionals. It can do a counter, or it can do a blunt interrupt. So since it has 2 conditionals, we don't always know which one is going to perform. So we need to take caution when trying to... Actually, no, I think it might be a Pierce interrupt. What do my notes say? Yes, it's a Pierce interrupt. My mistake. Yeah, this fight's a little scary too. We have another Greater Devil and the Earth Golem Commander that we see with that nice shiny axe. He does a lot of damage, but a nice thing about this battle is after this, we actually have a chance of receiving that axe. It's not the rarest drop in the world, but it's still not exactly common either. And, oh yeah, he also has a conditional of his own. I believe that's Hell's Fury. That's a blunt interrupt, I know for sure. And we do not want to trigger that, because that will do a lot of damage. That will pretty much one-shot whoever activates it, so gotta make sure we don't trigger it. But yeah, it looks like this fight is pretty much in the bag right now, so that is good. This is kind of like the last scary battle for a little while, mostly because of that Harvest Vitality, which thankfully I don't believe we saw. So that's excellent. And let's see if we get that shiny axe to drop.
Water bar.
We
Not
didn't get
water
it.
bar.
Yeah. So that's unfortunate, but it's not a requirement. It would just be a pretty nice boost for Ogniana's damage. The War Tabar has a power of 31, and compared to our Broad Axe right now, which is 16. And yeah, I see some people. Or I see. I kind of have my eye on chat here as we go. I see some people talking about the graphics of this game, and that actually is a nice segue to talk about kind of a little more about the game as a whole. This game was actually, or I guess we're technically playing on an enhanced version of SaGa Scarlet Grace. The original Scarlet Grace was released on the Vita in 2016, and it was exclusive to Japan. It did not see a release outside the country until about 2 years later in 2018. That's when we got SaGa Scarlet Grace Ambitions, which is the version that we're playing on right now. That version just basically added some extra content.
Spiral charge.
Let's see. No spiral charge. Yeah, that's a move we would like to see on Mondo, but not essential.
Rank up.
Oh yeah, and then we also get a little bit of backup from a mysterious ally in this fight, just calling down some bolts of lightning. We're gonna find out the source of that later. But so Scarlet Grace Ambitions came out about 2 years after the original Scarlet Grace, and this version got released on other platforms like Switch, PlayStation, PC, which is also the version that Kashiwame is running on today. Like most multi-platform games these days, PC is generally the way to go due to the lower load times. And and Ambitions also saw an international release, so we finally got to see the game outside of Japan. The first SaGa game outside of Japan since I believe Minstrel Song, which was almost a decade ago. So it was very welcome to see. And so yeah, this is the last fight for this wave of encounters here, and then we're going to get kind of a little brief intermission. No Urpina finisher. So close. So yeah, that is the Earth Serpent vanquished once more. So during that confusion, we saw Maximius, but after the smoke kind of clears, we find out he has been taken away. And then the person that called the lightning in that battle was this character. This is Elised. She is going to be our one and only mage for this run. And I gotta make sure we pick the first and second choice, or first then second choice, so that she joins our party. And she is going to be a very valuable member. She is one of the Scarlet Grace MVPs of speedrunning. But we'll touch more about her later. We're going to get into our first blacksmithing segment here as well. Blacksmithing is primarily how we will upgrade our equipment throughout the game. After battles and after events, we've accumulated resources, and this is where we spend those resources. We upgrade everyone's equipment. Every blacksmith also has different elements they specialize in, and each material type is classified under one of those elements. And this blacksmith in particular specializes in water, earth, and nature. So we'll receive a 20% discount when working with those materials, and there's also kind of a frequent flyer discount as well. Whenever you repeatedly use the same blacksmith, you'll get an additional discount. And so we started off making a bunch of items with really low material costs to build that discount up, and now we're kind of going into the more expensive items here. And this is just to get the most mileage out of our limited resources here. So yeah, she mostly just trying to raise our rank, strengthen some armor, strengthen the clubs of our tanks. And speaking of tanks, we just recruited another character named Yeoman. He is a boatman, and that's honestly all you really need to know about him. He's actually going to be replacing Beatrice due to Beatrice's rather low LP. Yeoman has a bit more to work with in identical stats, so we're going to phase him in and kind of take her place. And so story-wise, we're heading back to Urpina's home. We're kind of checking in. We're actually finding that the people that invaded have actually left. And while we were in Azokon, we also found out we learned about an artifact called the Emperor's Saw, which is said to be capable of defeating the Earth Serpent for good. The problem is, though, that weapon is actually supposed to be in the custody of House Gelanius, but for some reason it's gone missing. And when the Empire finds out about it, they end up taking custody of Maximius. So, so Daddy can't come home, and now Urpina is trying to track down this weapon. And the Emperor Saw is kind of a curious name for a weapon, but it's actually a throwback to Saga 1 or Final Fantasy Legend 1, the Saw weapon from that game. Funny little glitched weapon, if anyone's familiar with that title. And so, we went home to Silmium and found out that the Emperor Saw was believed to have been taken by the people that invaded, and they also took our brother Antonius. So, we are making our way to track down the pursuers. And we are actually going to have a bit of a small grind segment coming up here. So I think to kind of segue into that, how about we throw things back over to LGG on the host station for a bit?
I am down. So we've got a couple of donations coming in. We've got $10.24 from B. Wong, saying, although money is a bit tight this year for me, I couldn't help donate during SaGa Scarlet Grace's run, as it was one of the games I did localization QA on. So many stories I could tell about my time working on this game. Good luck to everyone during this marathon. We also have $10 from Val, saying, here's to a nyantastic SaGa run. Good luck Kashime in Kashiwame-san. Nyan.
Nyang. Nyang.
And
Yes.
We also have a $25 donation from Anonymous saying, love watching this run so far. Happy birthday to the cat boy LGG.
Oh.
Good luck and nyan 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 to Kashiwame-san.
Nyang, nyang, nyang.
Thank you very much for the
thank you very
donation.
That's for. Oh.
yes, thank you.
Oh.
All right. So let's see here. So right here, we're going to be doing a couple battles to kind of strengthen our party members and also just get a couple of techs on our party as well. We brought in Yeoman and Elised here. So let's see. For Yeoman, we just want him to get block, and this is just to. These battles are pretty easy, so we're just gonna farm them for a little bit to get what we need before proceeding. And let's talk about Elised for a little bit and why she's so great. So Elised is a pretty mid-maxed mage. She has all the stats a good mage wants, like mobility, intelligence, and acuity. And what really makes her stand out from the rest, though, is her starting spell selection. She starts off with Thorny Fetters, which is a nice starter spell. Nothing too special about it, but it's the other two spells that are very particular interest. Hypergravity and Call Lightning. We are going to be making extensive use of those two spells in later fights. Call Lightning is just kind of a big damage drop. It's going to throw out 4 random attacks hitting random enemies, but if there's only one enemy, then all 4 lightning bolts will hit that same enemy, which is going to absolutely chunk their HP. And it only costs 4 BP right now. Eventually we're going to rank it up and then reduce that down to 3, and so it gets a lot of mileage off of your BP use. And then Hypergravity is a spell that we are going to be using in 2 battles throughout this run. They're very, very difficult to do with conventional strategies, so we actually have a really neat trick for dealing with those involving Hypergravity, and we actually have that coming up in a little bit. And I guess while we're talking about these strategies, I also did want to mention earlier the dimensional break strategy that we saw at the start. That strategy was first introduced by a player named DOS. At least I believe that is I believe that's how it is pronounced. It's just DO-S. They're a Japanese runner and actually the world record holder for all 4 scenarios in this game, and they've been largely uncontested for, I want to say at least a year. And yeah, they have also, yeah, they've got a lot of cool videos on their YouTube channel as well, showing off all sorts of fun things you can do in other games, like a minstrel song. If you've ever wanted to see 10 Fatestone Sorrowing defeated in a single turn, they have a nice video of that. They also do stuff for Octopath Traveler as well. And yeah, just really pushing RPGs to their limits. And that's what we like to see here at RPG Limit Break. Go figure, who'd have thunk? And yeah, so let's see, what else can we talk about here that haven't touched on? Oh yeah, I guess kind of catch things up on the story here. So yeah, we're on our way to save our brother Antonius. And once we get to Antonius, we're going to be given a very crucial choice, whether to save him or save the Saw, because we're going to find out that he's basically being manipulated. He's fallen under the control of the cultists of Sapunk. And yeah, Urpina is going to be presented with a pretty big moral dilemma. Does she save her brother, or does she save the Saw so that she can save her father? And yeah, we're gonna see how that plays out. But yeah, we do need the Emperor Saw in order to defeat the Earth Serpent once and for all. And once we do have that, we're going to be able to close out Urpina's first chapter. And unfortunately, I think we're still waiting on Yeoman to spark that block, and we kind of need that. Mostly just as kind of a comfort thing. There's always a chance we can get it later, but it would be really nice to have now. And then a Urpina finisher. If someone could keep track of how many Urpina finishers we've seen up till now, that would be awesome. I want to say I've heard 4, but I probably missed a lot over the commentary here. But yeah, I don't know if anyone's keeping a running tally. But yeah, so let's see. So yeah, we need to defeat the Earth Serpent to close out Urpina's Chapter 1, and then the way Urpina's story is structured is it's broken into 3 chapters. Her Chapter 1 always involves her battle against the Earth Serpent. That is her main quest line, and then there's the block. All right, excellent. So we should have everything we need to proceed here. But yeah, and the other 3 protagonists have an accompanying questline of their own. Taria has the Phoenix questline, Ballmate has Siegfried, and Leonard has the Scarlet Shards. Oh yeah, someone asked about the difficulty. This game does actually have difficulty settings as well. We're playing on the default difficulty. That's kind of the standard for speedrunning. And adjusting the difficulty actually does it doesn't quite do what you would expect it to. All it does is increase or decrease the rate at which your battle rank rises. And oh, that's actually a great thing to talk about here as well. So battle rank. Battle rank is also another SaGa series staple mechanic. Battle rank is, from a top level view, it's kind of like a dynamic difficulty that scales enemies up as your party gets stronger.
Nice name.
And there, okay, so yeah, we're waiting on the name. There it is. All right, now it can move along. And yeah, so battle rank. Whenever you successfully complete battles, you will accumulate points. And once you accumulate 100 points, your battle rank will increase. And as your battle rank increases, the overall stats of enemies will increase as well to ensure that the player is adequately challenged as they progress through the game. For that reason, yeah, the difficulty kind of dynamically scales with you to kind of facilitate SaGa's more open world approach. Yeah, with the gameplay. But as your battle rank increases, the soft ceilings on your growths after battle increases as well. So the ceiling for your max HP will increase, and the ceiling for your weapon skill levels increases as well. It also increases the amount of rewards that you get after battle too, which you can then use to make better equipment, and yeah, everything just kind of synergizes nicely. And yeah, the encounters in this game are all fixed. Like, the enemies, each battle is kind of scripted. We'll always have, like, these enemies here. And some battles are one-time only, but there are also spots where you can repeatedly grind, if you wish, go back and fight them again. And something to note is whenever you do that, your battle rank actually doesn't increase as fast as it does whenever you fight it for the first time. You accumulate battle rank points at a much more reduced rate.
Miss Urpina finisher.
Yeah, unfortunate miss. No finisher today. But I believe we have a very important Urpina finisher coming up soon. Yeah, and so the difficulty just increases or decreases. The harder difficulties increase your battle rank quicker, and the lower difficulties cause it to increase slower. So that will make the enemies more difficult or keep them the same, depending on how you adjust. And yeah, one downside of using the axe is it has the lowest base accuracy in the game. Most weapon techs have a base accuracy around 100 or so, but axes usually fluctuate around like 80 to 90%. And yeah, we just saw the sheer power of Call Lightning there. I think that was the first time that we saw it. Yeah, hitting 4 times, very good base power. We'll be using that quite a bit as we go. And yeah, I believe we have one more battle coming up, and then we will be given the choice to spare Antonius or sacrifice him to save the Saw. And so yeah, that thing there inflicted a status ailment called Frenzy. That's basically just a kind of a provoke. Whenever a character is frenzied, they can only attack the source that inflicted the frenzy. But since it went on Elised, who's doing an AoE spell, it's pretty irrelevant. And yeah, and we also, you might have noticed a little critical message appear whenever Ogniata just attacked that plant. That was a damage bonus, my bad. The axe's default attack, Tree Cleaver, does bonus damage to plants, as you might expect. And so yeah, you end up getting a little bit of extra damage, and all enemies, or most enemies, also have a weakness to exploit. You might notice a critical message appear underneath the damage number when that happens. And so, like, all humanoid enemies, for example, are weak to slashing damage. All flying enemies are weak to piercing, and so on.
Here it comes.
So when we can make use of that, it's really nice.
Place me in the 4. It ends here.
All right.
Okay.
So yes, now we're coming up to Antonius. Our long yes, our long chase has finally reunited us with our brother. So we're about to save him.
Antonius, okay. What?
Wait, Urpina, what are you doing?
Oh, Urpina finisher.
No, not like that, Urpina. He was your brother. How could you?
No.
So- That's okay. We'll get a new brother later on.
I can't remember anything.
So, yeah. So at that point, that represents a very a very important branch for Urpina's Chapter 1. She has 2 routes that you can branch off at this point. One involves saving Antonius, and the other, unfortunately, involves sacrificing him to save the Saw. And if we choose to save Antonius, that puts us on track to, well, the Saw gets destroyed, and then we're going to have to figure out how to make a new one. Then we got to gather the materials and forge a completely new one, and that adds a lot of extra length to her already long Chapter 1. So we'd rather take the short route, take the Saw, and that way we can head straight to the Earth Serpent for our final confrontation. So yeah, we just have one last battle here, and then we're going to make our way toward the Earth Serpent, but not before picking up another very valuable party member. The best character in the game, in my opinion. But yeah, so while we're making our way there, LGG, if you have anything you would like to send our way, now would be a great time.
I sure do have some donation, yeah. Oh, what? So we have $25 from Alicel, saying, so happy to be able to see and meet so many friendos this weekend. Everyone is lovely, and never forget, I'm rooting for you. And we also have $26 donation from Phoenix Captain. I'm so excited for the Lufia 2 run coming up. Donating to Babe to name the capsule monster after my late dog Buddy. And just a reminder that there is a few incentives for the next run coming up. So the first one is to choose the capsule monster that is going to join our party. Right now, Flashlight is in the lead by about a little bit more than $100. Naming the capsule monster is well, is another incentive, and right now Buddy is in the lead indeed. And the last incentive for that run is renaming Maxim, and right now Geddes is in the lead, and just second to him is Minim with $45. So if you want to influence this marathon a little bit, well, you can put your donations toward that, or other big wars that you are going to be able to see on the website.
All right, thank you very much for that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Lufia 2 run coming up after this as well. I believe it's being ran by some individual named Powexel. Don't know why that name sounds so familiar. But yeah, so yeah, we just made our way across the sea. This is the region that the Earth Serpent has made its home, and we're about to take our fancy new saw blade and put it to use. And but before we do that, though, we're taking a little detour to pick up, like I said, a very, very valuable character. To do that, yeah, we're just this town is being overrun by the Earth Golem, so we're just going to lend a hand. We have 2 really easy battles to take care of. Boom, they're done just like that. Or I guess that's just the first one, but yeah, the second one will be pretty similar too. And this option here, the world record actually does not get this character, but picking this character up is just such a good safety precaution. He is going to be our spear user. For our late game, we're going to lean heavily on the spear for our late game damage. The main reason for that is because we are going to pick up a very powerful spear in the next chapter. It is so powerful, it basically has end game level power, and right now our battle rank, our like relative power level is very low, and that spear is going to give us a lot of extra power, and
Too slow.
it's going to create a bit of a power imbalance, so to speak. Like we should not have this weapon until much later in the game, but it's obtained through a side event, a battle at the end of the side event that has a 100% drop rate to always give us this spear. So we're absolutely going to make use of that. To give kind of an idea, it's going to have a power of 41, I believe. That's probably the equivalent of like a rank, I don't know, rank 12 weapon. We're only going to have like rank 4, rank 5 weapons by the time we hit the end game. So, Yep. So yeah, the town is now cleared. We are gonna go pay another visit. Gonna get a little cutscene and get to see the best character in the game. He's not objectively the best character in the game, but he may as well be. It's Khan. It's our good pal Khan. So yeah, he is. We're not going to use him just yet, but we're going to have him waiting in the wings. We're going to start phasing him in for Chapter 2. But yeah, the world record strat actually uses Mondo as the spear user, since they both perform very similar roles, but the main difference is Khan has more LP to work with. So he's a lot safer, because our final battle is going to be 3 successive battles in a row, and Mondo's 4 LP can be a bit of a liability if we have to do some reattempts. So we're going to bring in Khan instead, who has 7 LP. And for speedrunning, he kind of has everything we need. His stats line up perfectly. He doesn't really have any weaknesses. He starts with a move called Spiral Charge, which is going to be our main moneymaker with that fancy new spear we'll be getting. So yeah, he's just for Urpina scenario, he's literally just right here. It takes maybe about a minute to pick him up. So considering just the relative safety that he brings to the run, I'd say it's well worth it to pick him up. So right now we have one more battle, and then we're going to see the finale of the Earth Serpent, and this battle coming up is very interesting. This is going to make use of that hypergravity spell that I was talking about earlier. What we're going to do is we're going to bring in 3 Earth Element characters. We're going to equip them with staves so that they can use hypergravity, and then we're going to have Urpina and Elised as our remaining 2, and we're going to cast hypergravity a bunch in this battle. And hypergravity is noteworthy because it has a very useful rider effect. So just how the player has a BP pool to manage, the enemy too also has BP that they manage as well. And much like the player, it can be modified. And hypergravity actually lowers the enemy or the target party's BP by 3. So what we're essentially going to do is we're going to starve the enemy of BP to the point where it won't be able to take any action to directly harm us. And the reason we're using Earth Element characters is because hypergravity is the Tier 1 Earth Element spell. And so all these Earth characters start with, or rather, every character starts with their Tier 1 innate element spell, so the Earth gets hypergravity. So we don't have to teach them anything, despite them never having used magic at all during this run. And so, yep, she's just doing a little bit of equipment, making sure everything's set up, and here we go. So the reason we have to do this is because this fight is incredibly difficult to take on with a normal approach. So yeah, so here we see the Earth Serpent has been possessed by an entity known as Savnok. Might recall the name. He has some cultists coming around or going around that are.
Elised is so cute, I think so too.
Yeah, let's see. Does she not have... Okay, never mind. Yeah. So, yeah, the Earth Serpent has been possessed by Savnok. And in this fight, these 2 sticks here that keep spewing nasty stuff at us, those are kind of like... Those are called the devices of Savnok. And our objective here is to defeat these. We do not need to defeat the Earth Serpent. And we don't want to, because this thing has a lot of HP. And the problem here is these devices of Savnok have a lot of nasty... they do a lot of nasty AoE damage. We see here the Chaos. That's going to be a big problem, because that hits everyone, and it can also inflict confusion. And when a character is confused, they lose control of their actions. So hopefully we don't... That could be problematic. We'll see how it plays out. Okay, good. So yeah, Agni got confused, but luckily she's going to start queuing up the hypergravity here. So yeah, each time, like I said, hypergravity hits, it will reduce the enemy's BP by 3. The reason why this works in this battle is because the Earth Serpent always takes an action that consumes 1 BP, and the devices of Savnok, their only threatening moves require 2 BP at a minimum. And so if we keep the enemy's BP below 3 at all times, they can't hurt us. So even though things look kind of scary right now, I think we're actually set up so that we're not going to be taking any more damage for the rest of the fight. And so, yeah, at this point it's just kind of a slow burn. These things are weak to lightning damage, so Elisad's Call Lightning is very useful here, and earlier Urpina sparked a move called Demi-Loon, which also inflicts lightning damage so that we can help speed this fight along. And, but yeah, so while we finish this off, LGG, if you have anything more you'd like to add, now would be a good time for that as well.
All right. So we have one donation of $40 from One Free Fits. Loving the marathon so far and looking forward to the Lufia 2 run. Putting this towards naming the capsule monster after my cat, the Sweet Moon Prince aka Mr. Man. And so we, until the end of this run, we also have quite a few prizes going on with a minimum of $10 donation. So if you want to have a chance to win those prizes, just go ahead and donate. And on top of that, well, if there is some cat comments, well, I'll be really happy to hear that, and so would kashiwame. And so the prices right now are Chrono Cross original soundtrack revival disc, the Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers edition for the Switch, and Chrono Cross Vinyl OSC. And so all 3 of those prices are eligible at $10 minimum donation, and they are going to be available until the end of this run. So if you are interested in getting those, get those donations coming in.
All right, thank you very much. Those are some very lovely prizes indeed. Okay, so
Okay.
should be wrapping this battle up on this turn here. No Urpina finisher, but Elised should close it out. There we go. All right, and that's gonna put a pin. That's gonna put a pin in Urpina's Chapter 1. So yeah, it's a bit of a lengthy chapter, but her next 2 chapters will be done in the blink of an eye by comparison. So after each chapter, we're given a kind of a little intermission here. It's going to send us back to, well, I guess we'll take a moment to grieve Antonius for a bit, but that's okay. Like I said, we're going to find a new brother soon enough.
Okay. New brother.
Yes, new brother. So, yeah, so a few days pass after the Earth Serpent's defeat, and we're now back home in Silmium, and unfortunately the Empire has still kept hold of Maximius. He still hasn't come home, so Urpina's going to set off to try and bring him home for good this time. And so at this point, the game really opens up. Chapter 1 was very on rails for the most part, and at this point, I mentioned earlier that we're going to do the Scarlet Shards for our Chapter 2. And this is how we do that. We entered this region here. If we entered some of the other regions, we might start one of their the other quest lines instead. But by doing this, we run into Sasha, a very mysterious woman, mysterious and otherworldly. She implores us for aid in searching for the Scarlet Shards. So naturally, we're going to help her out, and we go from fighting a legendary monster to adopting a child. I guess after what happened to Antonius, Urpina's looking to kind of fill that familial void. So she is now a mother, and yeah, all 4 protagonists can do this event involving the baby. They all have their own little animations for picking the baby up, cradling it when idle, and running with it. The baby's kind of heavy though; it really slows you down. And yeah, we're finally going to bring in Khan here. We have one quick battle that we're going to do in these mines. This baby is kind of strange. Wherever we go with this baby, it kind of sends people into a fixation on wanting to take custody of the baby, even though they're not the parents.
I live for this.
And if we visit the mines, we're going to find out that they've been waiting for the baby, and they want us to venture deep into the mines. So, yeah, curiosity is piqued. We'll see where it leads. We're going to help them out.
Duty calls.
And yeah, kind of a gimmick with this battle is it's going to send us into a unique formation called For the Child. It's not too particularly noteworthy. It just greatly lowers our starting BP, and we'll just slowly regenerate one more in between turns. So unfortunately, we can't make use of momentum.
Leave this to me.
And right away, we see that spiral charge coming out that Khan starts with, so we don't have to worry about sparking that later on him. Oh yeah, and for magic users, they develop techniques a bit differently than weapon or other weapon techs. I guess I'll touch on that in a little bit because we're about to have a rather odd event here. So after that foray into the mines, we found a Scarlet Shard, and we're gonna give it to Sasha. And don't worry about the ominous music. Don't worry about this giant monster that has appeared out of nowhere and destroyed our hard-earned shard. This is nothing unusual in the world of Scarlet Grace. This is all standard fare. So, yeah, this is why Sasha is searching for the Scarlet Shards. She wants to destroy them. And yeah, so Urpina and Mondo quickly figure out that there's a little bit more than meets the eye with this character, and we'll eventually reveal the true nature of her mission here. But first,
Where's my new brother?
so yes, so yeah, Urpina decides to. She's not quite ready for motherhood yet, so we're going to drop the baby off in the hands of the Empire, see if they can't find the baby's parents. But we see this black-robed figure that is definitely not Antonius, or what's left of him after the cultists were done with him. And we're going to add him to our party. So this is Urpina's new brother. I think his name is like black-robed figure, but yeah, it is actually what is left of Antonius after the unfortunate events. He's unable to speak, but he has like all the same stats as Antonius does. He even members of House Delanius also are known for their dual-wielding abilities. They can dual-wield longswords. They have unique roles that let them do that. And that black-robed figure also starts with that same role. And we're actually going to put him into our party. We're going to give him an axe, because he actually starts with main. He's going to be one of our remaining dimensional break sparks. That will be coming up pretty shortly here. And for this event, we waltz into this region, and we're going to go talk to the king, who we didn't get aim.
Okay.
That's unfortunate. We waltzed into this region. We're going to go pay a visit to the king because he has actually found possession. He's actually taken possession of one of the Scarlet Shards, and there's a couple different ways you can resolve each of these events with the shards, but the quickest way is to take it from him by force. Normally he wants you to help him out with a little task, and then he'll give it to you, but we're not interested in that. And this is actually the guy that was leading the attack on the Empire, causing Maximius to go march to the Empire's aid. Like, he actually has designs on building his own empire himself. So in a way, it kind of makes Urpina and this guy enemies, but at the same time, like, you know, he's willing to resort to diplomacy. Yeah, he's also a very good archer that you can recruit if you so choose. Like one of the best in the game for sure. But we're not walking that path today.
I'm in the best shape of my life.
So yeah, and so
My
that.
thanks, oh Maha.
Yep, that's going to give us our second shard. So the reason why we're doing these shards really is if we. So our main objective right now is to try and find Maximius and bring him back home. But if we try to go to Oswakan right now, we're going to be barred entry. And it's kind of the game's way of saying, hey, you need to go do one of the other quest lines first before you can fulfill this objective. So we are required to do 5 of the Scarlet Shard events before we can proceed to the end of the chapter. So that makes 2. We have 3 more to do, but I believe we are going to... We're going to make some detours before our next shard event. And something she's also doing as we go is she's sending some of our reserve characters on expeditions. Characters on expeditions, after a certain number of battles, they'll be unavailable. But after that, they'll come back and you will. They'll give you some extra resources, and and I believe we're doing this as well to get our hands on some items too. I believe this is a backup strat since we haven't quite had the best luck with our tech sparks so far, so we're taking a little bit of contingency plans. And also, we're visiting a few towns along the way, too, to pick up some accessories. Some towns will give you an accessory your first time visiting. That town gave us the wind shell, which is a really nice accessory for boosting our mobility. That is going to give us an edge when we need to go fast. We need to go first. And so, yeah. That spear that I mentioned earlier, this is where we're going to do that. We just started a little side event here. We're going to do a total of 3 battles. We went into the cave and some mysterious force started talking to us and wanted us to provide an offering. And that offering is a jellyfish. A bit of an odd choice, but we'll honor it. We're going to head into the lake and... we need to clear out the lake of beasts so that some jellyfish will show up, and then we're going to go get one. So this will, in this battle, we also see a lot of the enemies kind of get reused in this game, but it's not necessarily the worst thing because we can get a pretty good idea of what to expect in each battle. Like the drakes are pretty tanky, the slimes are also pretty tanky. Nice little call lightning will make pretty quick work of them here. But that looked like it kind of hurt. This might be a little iffy, but if Elsed can get a call lightning off before she goes down, then not too sure about this one. Yes. Okay, I think that pit can stun, so luckily she didn't get interrupted here, and this should finish it. Not even close. Yeah, no, this is fine. We just need the one to make it out alive. And so, the way magic improves, after each battle with a magic user in your party, you can absorb something called Flux into one of your spells. And as you absorb Flux, your spells will increase in rank, and you can also learn new spells. There's a bit more nuance to these mechanics, which I won't go into too much detail on, but it's generally how you approach getting new spells. We don't really make use of that too much in this run, mostly because the run is like we kind of have everything we need, honestly, on Elised. And the run kind of, we're not going to go long enough into the run where we're going to see the more advanced spells. And we may have already seen a couple of tech rank ups as well for physical weapons through repeated use of the same tech. Eventually it will rank up, and when a skill ranks up, its BP cost goes down by 1. And if it already has a default BP cost of 1, then its base power or accuracy will increase. Yeah, I think we've already have Ogniana's Tree Cleaver is rank 1 now, so it goes from costing 2 BP to 1, which is pretty huge. Lowering it by 50% gives us a lot of extra resources to play with. Also, yeah, I see lots of love for the Saga series in chat right now. Saga Frontier Remastered is a great place to start with this series. They did a phenomenal job with that remaster. Maybe one of these days we'll hear a bit more about Emerald Beyond, but yeah, I think that's been in development for quite a while now. I'm quite eager myself to see what the mastermind Akitoshi Kawazu-san has cooking. And yeah, that's going to do it for this second battle here. So this third battle coming up is the one that's going to give us our spear, but it's normally a very difficult battle. We have to fight 3 very strong, very bulky enemies. So this is why we recruited the black-robed figure, or Antonius number 2. We're going to give him an axe, and all that practice swinging that axe is about to pay off here. One thing we do need to watch out for is these little ogre type enemies. They can block, and we don't want them blocking for anyone. We want to end this fight in one go. Alright, so we didn't get it on that first turn. Hopefully we'll get number 2. Alright, third time's a charm. Okay, it looks like she's going to risk it here.
Okay.
Hopefully it's not gonna block.
Ah, しまった
Uh-oh. That's only gonna hit 2 of them, I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
I
見てなかった
don't think Antonius number 2 can 1v1 this, so she's just going to
やってしまっ
load
た
the backup save. Yeah, that's very easy to make the mistake of doing. So yeah, whenever a character blocks, the character they're covering for will not get hit by enemy attacks. We needed to
いや親子
we needed to take out all 3 of them in one go there, because once we spark Dimensional Break, we can't do it again. We kind of only have 1 bullet to spend, so we got to make it count. But luckily, yeah, autosaves got our back. For that reason, this game is it's very safe to run. In most Saga games, well, I wouldn't say safe necessarily, but the way you can pretty much save anywhere, and especially with games like Saga Frontier, where you can quick save like in less than a second and reload your file very quickly through a soft reset. Yeah, it adds a lot more safety than you might expect. Oh, that stun was unfortunate. Praise the Celestials. We saw our first Benison. We're actually going to see a bit more about Benisons right after this battle, in fact, as part of our preparation. Hopefully... Oh, nope, that ain't it, Chief. So, a little bit bumpy here. But... it's kind of to be expected. This battle is pretty rough. If we're not able to get what we need right off the bat. Hopefully we'll see that spark right now. It's coming. I'm feeling it in my bones. All right, that time that was the right call. Just don't take any action. Don't want those ogres blocking for each other. Never lucky. Yeah, this is
No ogres protect. Okay.
yeah, this is battling with RNG is the
Okay.
hallmark of any good RPG speedrun. All right, here we go. That's what we want to see. And off you pop. GG, easy. All right, and for our trouble, we obtain the Twin Spikes. This is going to go on Khan right away. This is going to absolutely skyrocket his damage output. But as part of our preparation for late game, we're also going to pick up what's called a benison for one of our formations. Benisons are, if you've played Minstrel Song, they're very similar to benedictions in that game. They're basically like blessings of the gods. Yeah, and the way benisons work in this game is they have a chance to be activated in certain battles. Every battle, there's one benison you can learn from it. This one has a very particular benison we want called Kata's Comfort, which is going to be our source of healing for the final battle. And there it is, Kata's Comfort. So what we do here is we send in Khan solo, and we unequip all of his armor so that he takes a lot more damage, because Kata's Comfort is most likely to activate after your entire party has received lots of damage. And since he's our only party member, well, he is all the party. And we also switched to the free-for-all formation because when you acquire a benison, it gets attached to your current formation. And each formation can hold 1 to 3 benisons. And whenever a new benison is acquired, the oldest one will be overwritten if there's no more slots. So yeah, that's kind of needed for the first phase of the final boss gauntlet, as a very, very welcome safety precaution to have there. So now we are on our way to resume our search for the Scarlet Shards. So while we're making some headway there, how about we throw things back over to Le Grand, our resident French birthday catboy.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Yeah.
So we don't really have any donations right now, but I'll be happy to read them whenever you guys want to donate. But I would just want to give a reminder that we are doing this event and raising money for NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. And it is the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization. NAMI provides advocacy, education, support, and public awareness to improve the lives of all individuals and families affected by mental illness. NAMI exists to ensure that no one is alone on their mental health journey. And the last few years has been really stressful time in the world and have understandably had a strain on many people's mental health. In the United States alone, 21% of adults reported suffering from some kind of mental illness. That's 52.9 million people just in the US. Please remember to reach out for help if you need it. You are not alone.
That is very true. Nami's cause is a very admirable one, and I love that RPG Limit Break continues to support this wonderful organization. So during that, we found another Scarlet Shard. Basically, we came across a strange little animal that had apparently swallowed a shard and caused it to do funky things. Mondo wanted to capture it alive because he's a bit of a wildlife fanatic, but unfortunately, we find out that the Scarlet Shard was causing it to appear all rare and unique. It was just a plain average snake, so nothing too special there. So that makes 3 shards. Yeah, we don't get to see the Twin Spikes power right away. Khan is sleeping on the job. Hopefully, someone will wake him up real quick. Oh, actually, no. We did see the power of the Spiral Shard earlier during the the fight where he went in solo. Yeah, no, so yeah, that upgrade pretty much doubles his damage output with Spiral Charge. Like, he is easily capable of one-shotting like lower, weaker enemies now. And we can use this to build up a united attack. We can use that to, with the momentum formation, to build up 2 extra BP. Actually, shoot, I forget if I mentioned, so I'm just gonna say it again in case I didn't. With the momentum formation, you don't actually generate BP in between turns, but whenever either character in the 2 lead positions in the formation get a kill, you will generate 2 BP from that. And so,
またドールか。
yes, Matador, a lovely attack. The excuse me, the yeah, so with momentum, we like to have our 2 lead damage dealers in those 2 positions and have them soak up all the kills, and we're gonna have the other 2 people in the flank positions kind of covering for them. That's where Yeoman and eventually Jonto are going to come in and kind of cover for them. And then Elised we have in the center of the formation, because in addition to those benefits, where you place characters in the formation determines the rate that they're targeted in battle. And we want our frontliners soaking up most of the damage and covering for them as needed with the tanks. And then Elised, we don't want anyone hitting her. She is the squishy mage of the party, so naturally she does not want the aggro. Also, we eventually want to see aim on Khan here, but we might not get it at this rate. And aim is kind of nice to have for the final battle. It's actually a bit of a...
Finish him off.
It's not quite as strong as as Spiral Charge, but it provides a little bit of utility that can be situationally useful for the final battles coming up. And so for this shard, we just dove into some mines, did 3 battles. We're trying to get Elised's Thorny Fetters ranked up, but she's not feeling inspired today. Yeah, and so for the Scarlet Shards, when we first met Sasha, she casted kind of an enchantment on a ring that Urpina received at the beginning of the game called the Ibex Ring, kind of a family heirloom. And we can use that ring to locate other shards, thanks to Sasha's enchantment. And so that's how you locate where the shards are. But since we know where they are all the time, we just go straight to where they appear. And kind of a very minor optimization is whenever she uses that to locate the shard, she actually, kashiwame will stand on top of the location. That way the camera doesn't pan as far when we locate the shard. So just a very small, but minor but noticeable optimization here. And yeah, this is going to be our very last shard for this chapter 2. And I believe we're going to try and locate the shard in here, but we're going to find out it's been taken. And it's actually been taken by 3 different factions in this region. They basically took the shard and split it between the 3 of them, and so we're going to ally with one of the factions, and we're going to take the shards from the other 2 by force to complete the full shard. And so, yep, just got a few more battles to plow through. Yeah, Khan, like always, is going to be doing most of the heavy lifting. At this point, battles follow a bit more. They're a bit more scripted, but at the same time, throughout the entire run, the battles in this game require you to improvise a lot, and that's kind of where a lot of the fun of the run comes from. No 2 battles are ever alike in between runs, just due to the just due to like the volatility of the turn order, what actions enemies take, what moves your characters have sparked. Like, yeah, you're kind of dealing with different setups every playthrough, and it really tests your ability to kind of adapt and think on the fly. You know, make the best out of the hand that you're given.
Feel so fulfilled.
There's Thorny Fetters rank up. So yeah, that is to reduce her BP costs a little bit, so we have more BP to play with on our turns. So yeah, we're allying with the yellow faction, I'm going to call them, and we're going to go take the shards from the blue and the red factions. And all of these battles have kind of a little gimmick. I think the gimmick here is just there's a lot of aquatic enemies, and they want you to use, like, I don't know, lightning damage or something. But who needs lightning damage when we've got Spiral Charge? Time to cut loose. Something she's going to do here is she queued up the move called Brusque Slice with Urpina, and she is going to
No welcome.
yeah. These frogs are a little annoying because they can summon additional copies of themselves as the fight goes on. So yeah, we don't want to see that. That just kind of prolongs the fight. Excuse me. Yep. We're just trying to set up the united attacks when possible. Send in Khan for the cleanup. And yeah, this fight should be over on the next turn. But yeah, shucks, what else? Is there anything? Oh yeah, how about so why have we been collecting these the Scarlet Shards this entire time? Well, it all goes back to kind of a legend in this game involving an entity known as the Firebringer. The Firebringer is a very central character to this game's story and lore. He was originally a figure that lived among the gods of this game, or the Celestials, as they're called. But he was eventually excuse me.
Not sure where to
He was eventually exiled for his wicked ways and sent to live among the humans, and he didn't like that, so he decided to wage war on the Celestials and the humans that worshipped him, or worshipped them. And yeah, this caused the Empire to be built with the sole purpose of defeating the Firebringer. And over the course of multiple generations, the Firebringer was defeated a total of 7 times. And that's kind of a callback to Romancing Saga 2, which also had an empire that spanned over multiple generations doing battle against a legendary foe known as the 7 Heroes, and 7 being the magic number here. Yeah, 7 being the magic number, the exact same number of times the Firebringer was defeated. And when he was defeated the 7th time, his body shattered into many different fragments, many pieces. Oh no, that thing's... So yeah, much like the frogs, this harpy can also summon allies. And we don't like that because more enemies means we can't go fast. But at least we get a bit of a head start on the damage for this thing. It shouldn't take too long to go down.
早かったもの今回。
Alright, yeah, this thing is casting a spell, so it won't get to do anything dangerous to us. It'll be dead before it gets the spell off, but still, it's unfortunate to see. Because yeah, it just makes us go slow. So, yeah, and so the reason we're looking for the Scarlet Shards is because those Scarlet Shards are fragments of the Firebringer's defeated body. And that monster that shows up when we get a shard is actually called the Black Worm. It is a spiritual. So in this game, you have Celestials, which are kind of like the gods. You have Infernals, which are kind of like devils or demons, and then you have Spirituals, which are kind of like forces of nature that aren't like intrinsically good. The Blackworm is one such spiritual, and it has been tasked with it's basically sensed a disturbance in the world's like spiritual energy, and it kind of portends the resurrection of the Firebringer. So it's kind of taken on the task of locating the remnants of the Firebringer and destroying them to prevent its resurrection. And so, but the Blackworm cannot interact directly with humans, so it has decided to take up a vessel in the form of Sasha here. And so that kind of explains Sasha's mission and where she comes from and why we have this giant insect showing up out of nowhere, blowing these shards to Kingdom Come that we've worked so hard to obtain. So that makes our 5th one. Now we can head over to Oswakan, and we can go rescue Daddy. But first we need to pay a quick visit to the blacksmith and do a little bit more upgrading. We've done quite a few battles, accumulated quite a few resources, so we're going to spend them right now just to kit out our party a little bit more. The main thing that Kashiwame wanted right there was the Staff of Glory. She's going to equip that to Elised so she can learn a new spell. It's a spell we're not going to use, but it is a spell that will allow Elised to learn a new role. And that role is going to give her a focus buff at the start of each battle, which will increase her damage output just a little bit. Just kind of a nice little, a very easy way to optimize her damage output a bit. And so right here, we approach Maximius. We're finally ready to bring him home, but Sasha interjects, saying there's one last Scarlet Shard that she wants to take care of, and that is in fact the Ibex ring that Urpina was given at the start. And much like with Antonius, we have a choice whether we can offer the ring up or keep it and make Sasha very angry. We choose to offer it up in this route because that way, if we keep it, we end up having to fight the Blackworm, and we definitely don't want that. When we can just resolve things peacefully. And with that, Sasha's mission is complete and she fades away. And yeah, it's a bit of an anticlimactic end since we don't get a very defining boss fight here, but yeah, that's Urpina's chapter 2. So Daddy is finally home. Things have kind of settled a little bit. But Urpina still feels like something is kind of calling her. Like, she has a destiny to fulfill, and so she is going to ask to venture out once more. And this time, we're going to kick off Chapter 3 by entering this region, and this is going to put us on the Siegfried route automatically. But before we proceed with Siegfried, Kashiwame likes to do a little bit of a grind here to get everyone nice and prepared for what's to come, because Chapter 2 was much shorter than Chapter 1, and Chapter 3 is even shorter, because for some reason, Urpina does not have to actually do any of Siegfried's events. She can go straight to the end after starting it. So this is going to allow us to begin the final boss gauntlet right away. And in fact, on the world record route, you would actually go straight there, but going in with bare minimum into the final boss is very unsafe, especially for a marathon. It tends to be very reset heavy, so throughout the run, Kashiwame has been taking a few precautions to kind of just make things a little more consistent, a little safer, because we don't want to we don't want to contend with RNG more than we have to. So yeah, she equipped Elised with the Staff of Glory so she can learn Blazing Rush, which will allow Elised to learn that new role. I believe she is also having Urpina build up the tech usage with Maim, because I believe if I've kept Urpina Finisher.
Urpina Finisher.
Yes, I believe if I've kept track correctly, she is going to be. There's the Blazing Rush.
マジか。
Yes, she is going to.
まあ
She,
は
yeah, she is going to be our last dimensional break spark coming up in the final battle. So yeah, this is a nice grind spot because two very easy enemies, very quick. And something she's also doing is she's finishing off with Maim.
I got this.
She's saving Maim as the finisher because if we want to make sure that it delivers the finishing blow and the battle ends, so that in case Dimensional Break does spark, the battle will end before it does. And that way we don't kind of miss our shot, because we do want to save this for the last battle. So yeah, I think she's just going to do one or two more. And yeah, I think while we're doing this, Le Grand, do you have anything you'd like to add right now, or shall I keep talking?
I can do a few things. Sure.
All right.
First thing first is we got a lovely $50 donation from Telekinesis. I've loved being at RPG Limit Break for the first time this week, but all this cat talk has been missing my kitty at home. A nyan to kashiwame and a nyan to my bean at home.
にゃん
So
にゃんにゃん
regarding other general stuff, we would like to send out thanks to the people involved in our foreign language restreams. Our French restream can be found at twitch.tv/lefrench_restream, LE then French restream, and our Japanese restream at twitch.tv/Japanese_restream. If those restreams can help you enjoy the marathon, go check them out and send them some love.
All right. Thank you very much for that.
Nice.
All right.
last time to enough material, I think.
Okay, yeah, I forgot to mention that too. She is also trying to get some extra materials. There are going to be some very particular items that she wants to craft in her last blacksmithing segment. Because once we enter the final area, we are not going to be able to turn back. It will be the point of no return. So making sure our ducks are lined up in a row before we proceed.
Finisher.
Urpina finisher.
Oh, are these new muscles?
All right. So, yep, like I said, Urpina has the privilege of not needing to do any of Siegfried's events, and we can go confront him right now. It's actually kind of funny too, because we haven't even met Siegfried yet. They're already talking about trying to pursue him, and here he is at the center of the Empire, causing the mischief, causing the discord. That is what he does best. He's kind of a character that goes around making a mess of things, and there's a very good reason for that. A lot of the events involving him, a lot of mysterious circumstances start popping up over the land, and at the source of it all is our good pal Siegfried. But we're about to meet the man in just a minute. Yeah, after this one last blacksmithing segment, the main thing she's after here, she wants to create some accessories called dance shoes. Those are going to increase everyone's mobility slightly so that we can try and outspeed the final boss on the first and third phases. We're also going to make some soldier suits, which are very heavy pieces of armor. Those are going to weigh down our characters and make us go as slow as possible. And that's going to be very important for the second phase of the final battle. And then just using some extra ingredients to up everyone's armor when applicable. We're also going to strengthen the weapons of our club users just so they can contribute a little bit of extra damage, because every point of damage makes a difference with what we have coming up. So yeah, here we have the dance shoes. Oh yeah, and then we're also upgrading that broad axe as well, since we didn't get the War Tabar, unfortunately. If we got that War Tabar early, then Agni would be set, but was not in the cards for today. Alright, that will take care of that. And one last item of business. We're going to recruit a character here named Sabbat. I believe he comes with an extra heavy armor, which I believe Kashiwame does this as a backup in case Khan does not spark aim. This is going to help weigh him down a little bit too for that second Firebringer phase. Oh yeah, spoiler, we're fighting the Firebringer for our final boss. Yeah, the same entity that the Black Worm was trying to prevent from resurrecting is going to get resurrected. Because, as it turns out, Siegfried, our good boy that we're about to meet, he is actually the avatar, the reincarnation of the Firebringer. And he is going around sowing the discord, sowing the chaos to kind of usher in that resurrection. The new reign, new god, you know the drill. We've all played an RPG before. We know the same song and dance. And so, right here we are going to kit out our party. Equip everything that we just made, and we're going to, we're going to fight Siegfried. Siegfried is a rather volatile fight. He can be really nice, or he can be really mean. He has a very wide move pool, and but he's almost always obnoxious in a way. This is the man. Ha 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 ha. He has a pretty cheesy laugh too. Honestly, I quite enjoy the voice acting in this game, even if it's a little on the cheesy side. It's still pretty high quality. And so, so Siegfried here, we just need to defeat him. The problem is trying to attack him directly. He has a very obnoxious shield. It has an absurdly high block rate, and anytime it activates, you do no damage to him. Oh, there's the aim. Alright, better late than never. That's good to see. Luckily, though, the shield does not block united attacks or magic, so we can rely on that. However, Siegfried can also summon extra enemies. He also has an interrupt. He can also cast very dangerous magic. We actually want to see the magic, because while he's casting, he won't be able to block with that shield. Right now, trying to play around Siegfried's interrupt is a little annoying, but we should be able to make it work. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, luckily, we have Khan activated, and then we had a Yeoman block for Khan, so we didn't take any damage there. So far this is actually going pretty well. Yeah, there's that shield. Very annoying to deal with here. Okay, this is good. He's going to cast a spell now, so we should be able to finish him off before the spell comes out. And even if it does, he's already low enough that we should be able to wrap things up without issue here. But just in case, we're going to cover for our two main damage dealers because this move does do a lot of damage. But it shouldn't be necessary. Excellent. That was a very cooperative, very good Siegfried fight. Siegfried was kind. The rest of the run has been a little shaky, but Siegfried was at least kind. And hopefully we'll have that luck going into the last 3 battles of the run coming up here. So yeah, after Siegfried is defeated, yes,
Final boss
Steely,
battle.
get ready. This is the hard part. And by hard, I mean lots of RNG. So yeah, she's taking some measures to make everyone as fast as possible here because we need to go fast for this first phase. So yeah, Siegfried has been reborn, and at this point he is going to resurrect as the Firebringer, and that's going to bring us into the final gauntlet, just like that. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This battle is, yes, that's what we like to see. This battle is a series of coin flips, and the sides of that coin are Uzume and Shams. We want to see Uzume because that effectively gives us a free turn. Firebringer is not going to hurt us. Oh, we see another Uzume. Excellent. Oh wait, was that Shams? Oh no, it was Shams. My fault. So yeah, this is Shams. This hits everyone pretty hard. And we didn't get Kata's Comfort. So yeah, this is looking like a bit of a wash here, so we're just going to go ahead and reset. So yeah, when we see Shams for the first time, we typically want to see the Benison Kata's Comfort activate to heal that damage, because we can only tank so many Shams in this battle before things go awry. And that's also why we like to see Uzume here. And the reason this battle is so hard is because earlier I mentioned about the concept of battle rank. Our battle rank right now is maybe around like 11, if I had to guess. Unfortunately for the final battle, if your battle rank is below 20, the enemy, the Firebringer, will not scale down to your power level. He is stuck at a minimum of 20, so we're basically fighting a much stronger boss than we should have any reason to be fighting at this point. That is why we take the effort to pick up the Twin Spikes for Khan to give him that extra bit of damage to offset that huge power gap. Because even with that huge power disparity, Khan's still going to be hitting very, very hard.
Okay.
Oh, good. We got the. I believe that's the second Kata's Comfort. So normally Kata's Comfort has maybe like a 90% chance of activating once, but for it to activate again, it actually gets reduced significantly to maybe like 5 to 10%. So that was actually a pretty lucky roll there. And thankfully we got the Uzume here, so that's going to put us into the second HP bar, because the Firebringer has multiple HP bars throughout all 3 phases that we're going to fight him. He has a total of 7 HP bars across the 3 phases. He has 2 in the first, 2 in the second, and 3 in the last. So we need to defeat him twice here in this first phase before moving on. And so far we seem to be in pretty good shape now. That second Kata's Comfort came in very handy. So yeah, the idea here is to have our tanks block for Elised and Khan, who will be doing most of the heavy work. And yeah, I think we're actually in very good shape here. Because yeah, Yeoman and Jomto will give them another turn if we get the Shams, which we do, and Khan should be able to finish things off here. And yeah, and Elised.
It's okay.
There we go. Okay, we don't have to worry about Elised outspeeding on the next turn. This fight is a wrap. So coin flip successful. Now this fight, phase 2, is probably the most technical fight in the game. We're going to revert back to the hypergravity strategy that we used in against the Savnok fight, the final battle against the Earth Serpent. We're going to bring in our Earth Element users, equip them with staves, along with Khan and Elised. And for this fight, we want to keep the enemy's BP below 3 at all times because, well, I'll touch on that once we get into the fight. And all the while, she's also equipping everyone with equipment that will lower their mobility, lower their speed as much as possible, because we want... Yeah, it never hurts to double check here. Yeah, okay, it looks good. Yeah, we want everyone going as slow as possible for this fight. Also, this is probably my favorite battle theme in the game. It's a banger.
I'm thankful to have.
Okay, so Firebringer
Shadow
always
Shadow,
opens
okay.
up summoning clones, and we saw 3 dark clones here, so that is not what we want to see, but we'll still make it work. And so at this point, the clones can... Wow, 4 dark clones. The clones have 3 actions. They can block, they can use a move called Echo, where they will mimic the last action that your party members took for that turn, and that turn only. And then there's Copycat, which only the dark clones can use. Copycat will mimic the last action that the Firebringer took for that entire battle. And right now, the last move that he used was the summon, but since the enemy party is already capped out at 5, they can't summon anymore, so it effectively does nothing now. And we want it to stay that way. The Firebringer himself has 3 other attacks. Ooh, that doesn't look good. Is that Sonic Blade? Okay, no, it's not good. Excellent. Yeah, so the move we don't want to see the Firebringer use is Sonic Blade, because that will one-shot whoever gets hit by it.
Yeah,
and when that happens, if the Dark Clones use Copycat after the Sonic Blade, they will also Sonic Blade and start one-shotting our party members. And your party will just slowly get steamrolled over, and it will just spiral out of control. So what we want to do is keep the Firebringer's BP below 3, because that's how much it takes to cast Sonic Blade. And looks like we've actually got that loop set up now. So we're going to fire off hypergravities every other turn to keep his BP lowered, and he will never get a turn again. And what allowed us to do this is at the start of the battle, when he has high BP, he also has 2 interrupts that he can use, and those interrupts cost a lot of BP. And as long as we don't activate them, they won't actually hit our party. He won't use them. So instead, his last action still remains that summon. And so yeah, we've essentially got the loop set up here. And now it's just kind of a slow burn on the Firebringer. We're just having alternating hypergravity, having Khan and Elised chip in the damage when they can. And yeah, that's the first HP bar, so now we gotta do it all over again. On average, this fight takes about 20 turns, plus or minus a few, depending on any hiccups along the way, so... Yeah, this is looking like it's in the bag here. So we only have one more battle coming up after this. Yeah, we only have one more battle coming up after this. So maybe Legrandrin, if you want to maybe get in one last word before we cap off the run, that would be great.
Sure can. So we've got $10 donation from Caron saying Bonjour et joyeux anniversaire LGG. Thank you all for supporting the fantastic folks at Nami, and thank you for the perfect SaGa run, kashiwame-san. I'd just like to remind you guys that there is one big incentive coming up by the end of the day for Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix Randomizer, which is to fight the Lingering Will Super Boss. Right now it's at $569 out of the $2,000, a requirement to actually met that incentive. So make sure to get your donations toward that. You can also donate for the few incentive to choose the capsule monster and name the capsule monster and name Maxim for the next run coming up, Lupia 2. So make sure to donate to either of that, because that's going to be the most important thing for the next coming hours, I would say.
Yeah, I think it's about a 4 or 5 hour run-ish. So yeah, thank you very much. And yep, should just be about 1 or 2 more turns here before we'll put a pin in this and move right along to our very last battle. And something else to mention too is the Firebringer actually has 4 different difficulty variations across all 3 phases. The variations that you get are determined by the quest lines that you undertake and the choices you make alongside them. And with the quests and choices that we made, we actually ended up with the easiest version of all 3 Firebringer phases, and that's kind of a necessity given how underpowered we are. So yeah, there's a lot of neat, subtle mechanics going on under the hood that ultimately influence your experience with this game. And like playing this game blind pretty much results in like no 2 people ever having the same playthrough. That's something that the series has always been like really good at doing. So, for this last battle, we are bringing in our A team once more. Actually, I lied earlier. I said Urpina was going to spark the dimensional break. No, that's Ogniana. You may have noticed that she's been sitting on main this entire time, but hasn't sparked it. That's because we've been saving it for this battle, this very last battle. Although first we do have something we need to do real quick. Urpina's going to show this guy who's boss. It's time to square up. We're going to send her in all alone. She's got this. This is for Antonius. You know, on second thought, maybe this wasn't the best idea. So yeah, what we're doing earlier, like we did in one of the battles earlier in the run, is yeah, we are going to we're gonna take a few losses to build up that united attack damage multiplier for proceeding. And yeah, why not send in Daddy Lighthouse Lewis Darling.
And your time has long since passed.
Lewis is a pretty cool character. Unfortunately, we don't use him too much in the speedrun, but he's a great character casually. And honestly, just a very beloved character in general, I believe. But he gets his moment in the spotlight here. He's sacrificing his LP for a good cause. So, all right, yeah, I think Kashi-san is content with her multiplier. We're going to get right into this. All right.
This is weird.
My meeting.
So we want Ogniana.
Hey, I am.
Ooh, that's not good. We'll see if she plays this out. She does have a couple of reattempts to play with, so yeah, she's gonna. Yeah, we want everyone alive as long as possible for this fight, because we have 3 HP bars to burn through, and we need to get as much mileage out of our resources as possible. And ideally, Ogniana sparks Dimensional Break on this first turn, takes out the swords in one fell swoop.
No.
Ooh. Alright, this is looking a little scary because Ogniana only has 1 LP left. If we don't get it on this next fight, we may have to take her out, but luckily Kashi-san does have Urpina ready. This is exactly why she did this. A nice contingency plan. The swords can also block, so we see them both having the conditionals ready. We want to just kind of stall this turn. We don't want to try sparking it now, because we need both of those swords down ASAP, and if they block for each other, then we don't get both of them. And we saw just how much damage those swords did. So, fingers crossed. Oh, alright, I think... Oh, there goes Yeoman, too. We're gonna have to play this out. Not gonna lie, this is a little scary. Okay, there we go. Better late than never.
I love getting stuck.
Okay, there go both swords.
Follow me.
Yeah, we're gonna get 2 united attacks. Yeah, that damage multiplier we got is paying off big here. And just like that, his first HP bar is melted. So now we got 2 more to
It's very,
go.
very too dangerous. No
Yes,
protector.
This is going to be very scary because she does not have any blockers available now.
辛いよ、君。
Psychokinesis. I don't think this will kill anybody, so this is still okay. Urpina could maybe get a stun with Heaven and Earth. That would be nice, maybe? Nope. Oh, good block. Very, very good block.
Nice.
Alright, this is good. He has a conditional that he can use that interrupts blunt attacks. So as long as we don't use blunts, we don't have to worry about it. But we can also quell conditionals with range attacks. And good, we got another one. Alright, this is very good here. We got through the second HP bar with no damage taken. So yeah, Call Lightning, that will take us into the last HP bar. Alright, this is
How
it.
many
This is what it all
times?
comes down to. Just as a reminder though, time is not called on the final hit. It's going to be after her save data is completed. Is that Falling Zodiac? Yes, it is. So yeah, this is going to hit everyone. I don't think it's going to kill, but it's still gonna hurt. It's also going to reduce our BP by 2, which will cut into our damage supply. So we really don't want to see that. Okay, yeah, so we're okay here as long as he doesn't do it again. Okay, good. Alright, and if
So
he...
bad.
Yeah, no, I
Oh.
think we're in the
Urpina finish. Okay. United
Yeah, then-
attack.
United Attack will finish it off, and Urpina finisher. There we go. That is the Firebringer down for good. We can see his body exploding into many tiny pieces once more. So I guess someone else is going to have to go find the shards later, clean up the mess, but that's not going to be for Urpina. Her job is done here. Maybe in the next game. Maybe. Alright. So yeah, that is the hard part of the run over. We still have maybe about 6-7 minutes of epilogue and credits to go through before time is called. So yeah, we've still got a little bit left to go here, but we can rest easy. This run is pretty much, in all intents and purposes, done. And after the Firebringer is defeated, we see this lovely little ball of light. This is actually the Scarlet Grace itself, the very same Scarlet Grace from the title. It is the source of the Firebringer's power. And here we see Siegfried actually informs Urpina that with the Scarlet Grace, she could become a god if she wanted to. She could do anything, pretty much anything with that at her disposal now. But in this ending, Urpina actually, she doesn't really decide to use it. She just wants to go back home. She wants to show off her new brother to everyone. She just wants to live her life out peacefully and just be with her family. But the other endings are quite different as well, and much like the final boss variations, the ending changes based on what quests you do and what decisions you make along the way. So, yeah, so with that out of the way, we get kind of a little epilogue of all the characters that helped us along our way. I believe it shows the 15 most used characters throughout your scenario in order of most used to least. As we can see, Agni and Elised were among our most used characters, and we also get to figure out what happens to important, relevant characters to the story, like Jomto here. Even though he never got the chance to be in a cutscene, he was still valuable to us along the way. And yeah, so
Nyan.
yes, Nyan.
Nyan.
So yeah, we got we still have a couple more minutes left to go here, so I figured we would use this time to kind of close things out, and that way once time is called, we can move things right along to get ready for the next run. Yeah, again, we have Lufia 2 coming up after this by the wonderful Poexel. Always a treat to watch him run. So yeah, I have been talking for a long time. Kashiwame, would you like to say anything?
そうですね。The run is not so bad. I'm very satisfied in this run. And
Yes, anytime you don't have to reset on Firebringer is a good time.
yes, and in this time, participated remotely from a distant location, and being a part of RPG Limit Break incredible community has been very truly my honor. Very thanks for everything. And
Yes, thank you very much for running with RPG Limit Break. I'm sure I speak for everyone when you did a wonderful job with your run, showcasing what this game has to offer. It's a very fun game to run and pick up too. Surprisingly very approachable as well. Takes a little bit of time to learn the game mechanics, but the run itself is fairly easy to pick up and learn. So if it's something that caught your interest, yeah, definitely look into it. You can always check out the SaGa Discord, and not just for this game, but any game in the series. We've got quite a variety of runners in there that you can ask for assistance. They can most likely point you in the right direction to get started. It's a very fun and quirky series if you're looking for something a little different for your RPG speedruns. And yeah, was there anything else you wanted to say, Kashiwame?
I refer to my Nyan.
Yeah, indeed. I'm glad that caught on at the start of the run. But I guess, yeah. If you enjoyed her run today, by all means, please give her a follow on Twitch. Yeah, poke your head into Kashiwame's stream, say hi, tell her you enjoyed the run. Despite the language barrier, she's still more than happy to welcome you into her stream, more than happy to do her best to communicate with you. And yeah, she really loves this game, very passionate about it, loves to run it. And she also wanted me to mention that this game is currently on sale on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, and mobile devices. It was on sale for Steam during the summer sale, but I believe that has come and gone. But yeah, usually you can get this game pretty cheap, maybe around like $10 to $15. Usually goes on sale for like 50 to 70% off, and absolutely worth it. Lots of replay value, lots of fun hours to be had with this game, and yeah, I guess. Also, I would love to give a shout out to RPG Limit Break as a whole for having us. Thank you to all the organizers, the tech crew, the viewers, those in the viewing room at the venue, and also everyone watching at home. Thank you so much for all your contributions in making RPG Limit Break as wonderful as it is. And I guess also would also like to give a couple thanks to a couple individuals that have kind of helped to expand this game's knowledge base in English. Without them, I definitely would not know what I do know about this game. So Killer B and Ness Eggman, thank you very much for all the resources you provided and making this game much more approachable to pick up and play. And yeah, I think I've about exhausted my vocal cords for the day. So yeah, after this, I'm gonna head out. I have a meeting I need to get ready for right after this, so need to get some food. Yeah, it looks like. Yeah, look, the credits are coming up. Time will be maybe in about 20-ish seconds, and there's a nice money shot to close out the run with. And of course, the madman behind the SaGa series, Akitoshi Kawazu-san. We love all your hard work. All right.
About time stop after saving.
That's right. It's going to be just a couple seconds and time.
Okay.
GG. Excellent run.
Oh. Nyang. Time.
Yes. Oh, yes. Thank you for mentioning her Twitch channel.
In Japanese, number 2 is Nyang. So, 2 hours and 20 seconds, 22 minutes. Nyang.
That's a very fitting time. Yeah, that was a very, very nice run. I'm glad it went with minimal difficulty. So yeah, that's gonna do it for us. I believe we are ready to head on out. So yeah, we'll throw things back over to Le Grand. And thank you very much for joining us, LGG, and hope we all have a great rest of the marathon. Bye-bye.
Yes, thank you.
And that's a wrap for SaGa Scarlet Grace Ambitions. What a great run from Kashiwame-san. I have probably just one last donation before I give the floor back to our next host. We've got Nia giving $25, saying, "Thank you for a wonderful run of one of my favorite games ever." Nia. And so I guess this is going to be it for me. I hope you enjoyed this hosting, and I hope you enjoyed seeing me turn into a cat boy. I will be heading out and giving the floor to the RPG chick. She was actually hosting for Custom Quest earlier this marathon, and so she did a wonderful job, and I'm sure she's going to do a wonderful job again for this run coming up of Lafayette 2 Rise of the Sinistral by Puexo. Again, that was Le Grand. Thank you for having me, and I hope you'll have a good time.
Hello, everybody. This is RPG Limit Break 2023, and I am the RPG chick. I will be taking over for LeGrand, who did an amazing job, so thank you again for that. I will be your host for the upcoming Lufia 2 run. In the meantime, we do have a couple of donations. We have one from Raf Gao. Have to donate for the upcoming Lufia 2 run, one of my favorite runners running my all-time favorite game. Good luck, Poexel. May the Demon Chocobo be with you always. We also have a $25 from Sith Moonweaver. Says, you all are awesome. Keep up the great work.